Searching the internet used to be simple, but lately, finding a real answer feels like work. You have to scroll past ads, sponsored posts, and useless clickbait just to get basic information. This is Perplexica. It doesn't give you a list of links to click on, it reads the websites for you, filters out the junk, and writes a clean, direct summary with sources you can trust. Think of it as a private research assistant that lives on your computer. It works by combining a live search engine with a local AI brain. It is powerful enough to completely replace Google for your daily questions. But instead of forcing you to click and read 10 different pages, it does the heavy lifting for you. But the real reason to switch isn't just convenience, it's control. When you use Google, every search is logged, tracked, and packaged for advertisers. Because Perplexica runs entirely on your own hardware, your data never leaves your computer. There are no ads, no tracking, and no monthly subscriptions. Before we start, a quick note on hardware. AI models are heavy, so you need to pick the right size for your computer. For this demonstration, I am going to use Qwen 2.5 3B version. It offers a great balance between speed and intelligence. I recommend avoiding the Qwen 3 model sized 4B and higher for this setup. Those are thinking models, which means they will include their entire internal reasoning process inside your search results. It clutters the answer and takes much longer to respond, so it isn't ideal for search engine. Instead, here is the best way to choose. If you have 2GB to 4GB of VRAM, use the tiny Qwen 3 1.7B module. If you have 4GB to 6GB, go for the Qwen 2.5 3B version. And if you have 8GB or more, grab the Qwen 2.5 7B model. These versions will keep your answers fast, clean, and direct. So, what do we actually need to install? There are three main parts. First, we need Ollama. This is the brain that runs the AI model. Second, we need Perplexica. This is the body, the actual search engine interface. And finally, to run Perplexica, we need Docker. Now, why are we using Docker? Think of Docker as a sealed box for your software. Perplexica requires a lot of specific coding libraries to work. If we install them directly on your Linux, they might break your other apps. Docker puts everything inside a container. It keeps your system clean, it's easier to update, and if you ever want to delete it, you just throw away the box. Next up is Ollama. We called this the brain earlier, but technically it's a model runner. Here is why we need it. Perplexica is great at searching the web and finding links, but it actually doesn't know how to read or write on its own. It's just an interface. That's where Ollama comes in. It takes the AI model, like the Qwen file we're about to download, and runs it in the background. When Perplexica finds the website, it sends the text to Ollama, and Ollama is the one that actually reads it and writes the summary for you. The beauty of this setup that if a better AI model comes out next week, you don't have to reinstall Perplexica, you just swap the brain inside Ollama. Time to build up the foundation. First, we need to install Docker. Now, while you can install this from the Linux Software Manager, I generally recommend using the official script instead. The versions in the Software Manager can sometimes be a little outdated, and since AI tools evolve fast, having the freshest version helps avoid compatibility issues down the road. Open the terminal. So we use this command. Let's break down what is happening here. Curl is the tool grabbing the data. The flags ensure a clean download. They tell curl to stay silent unless there is an error and to follow any redirects. So we definitely get the right file. Finally, the pipe symbol passes the script directly to sh, which executes it immediately. Once that finishes, Docker is installed, but it defaults to running as root. This means if you try to use it, you will have to type sudo and your password for every single command. To fix that, we need to change our permissions. Let's break down this command. User mode is the command to modify a user account. The flags stand for append group. We are adding a new group without deleting the old ones. And finally, we add the current user to the Docker group. Basically, this tells Linux that your user is allowed to control Docker directly. Now, this is important. Linux only updates your group membership when you log in. So for this change to take effect, you must restart your computer. If you skip this, the next step will fail. So go reboot and I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back. Now that Docker is ready, let's install the brain, Ollama. Just like before, we are using the official one-line installer to make sure we get the latest version. Here is the command. It's very similar to the Docker command. Curl grabs the script from ollama.com. The flags are a safety check. They keep the download silent unless there is an error and follow any redirects. Finally, the pipe sh runs the script immediately. The installation checks your system configuration and automatically installs the correct version of Ollama to match your hardware. Ollama is installed, but it's empty. We need to give it a model to think with. I have chosen Qwen 2.5 3B for this guide. The reason is simple. Right now, Qwen is the king of efficiency. It runs faster and reasons better than Llama or Mistral at the same smaller sizes, which makes it perfect for a personal search engine. I am going to install the 3B model, which is perfect for most standard computers. You can always play with different models later to see what suits you best. Here is the command. Ollama pull Qwen 2.5:3b. Let's break this down. Pull is the command Ollama uses to download models. Qwen 2.5 is the name of the model family. And the part after the colon 3b is the tag. This tells Ollama exactly which size to grab. Ollama is running, but we have one small problem. By default, it ignores everything outside of your main system. Since Perplexica lives inside a Docker container, Ollama treats it like a stranger and refuses to talk to it. We need to change that setting. Let's open the config file. Type this command in your terminal. Scroll down to the service section. We are going to add one simple line that opens the door. Type this exactly as you see it. Basically, this line tells Ollama stop hiding and start listening to the network. Now Perplexica can connect. To save the file, press Ctrl-O and Enter, then press Ctrl-X to leave the editor. Finally, we just restart Ollama to apply the changes. And that's it, the bridge is built. Before we install the final piece, we need your computer's IP address. This is the phone number Perplexica will use to call Ollama. We are going to use this command. This asks Linux for your address and filters out everything else, so you just get the number you need. You should see something like, write this down, you will need it in a minute. If this command fails, you can use this more universal command instead. Now for the main event, installing Perplexica. I have modified the standard command to include a security lock, but you have a choice to make here. Look at this part, -P127001. This locks the app so it only works on this specific computer. Here is the rule. If you are installing this on a laptop that you take to coffee shops or public places, keep this part. It stops strangers on public Wi-Fi from accessing your personal AI. But if you are installing this on home server and you want to access Perplexica from your phone or another computer, delete this part. Now, look at -v Perplexica-data. This one is simple, it's your autosave. Without this, Docker would wipe all your settings and chat history every time you turn off your computer. This ensures your data stays safe. Choose the version that fits your needs, paste it, and hit enter. Installation is done. Now let's open the app. If you are on the computer where you installed it, just open your browser and type localhost 3000. However, if you install this on a home server and want to access it from your phone, do not use localhost. Instead, tap the IP address we wrote down earlier and then :3000. It looks ready, but it's actually disconnected. We need to introduce the body to the brain. Click on Add Connection. From the connection type, choose Ollama. Give it a name. Now for the base URL, type HTTP, then the IP that we saved before, followed by :11434. Never use localhost in this specific box. Remember, Perplexica lives inside a Docker container. If you tell it to connect to localhost, it will try to find Ollama inside its own tiny box and it will fail. Click Next. Now we just need to link everything together. Under Select Chat Model, click the drop-down and choose the Qwen model we just downloaded. Next, look at the Select Embedded model. Make sure this is set to default, all Mini LM L6v2. This is the standard text analyzer that comes built-in, and it works great. Once those are selected, hit Finish, and that's it, you are connected. Before we finish, let me show you how to use these controls. They are all built right into the search bar. First, on the left, click this lighting bolt. This controls how hard the AI thinks. You can leave it on speed for most things. But if you need a deeper answer and don't mind waiting, switch it to quality. Or choose balance to get the right mix of speed and accuracy. Next, look at the right side. This globe icon is your focus mode. This tells the AI where to look. By default, it searches the whole web. If you are doing serious research, switch this to academic to only look for papers and studies. If you want to see what people are actually saying on Reddit or Twitter, switch it to social. Let's try a real search. I'll keep it on web and balanced. I will ask this question. Watch what happens. First, look at the top. These are your sources. Perplexica is reading these actual websites in real time. You can always click them to verify the fact yourself. And below, that is the answer. Instead of making you dig through 10 different ad-filled pages, it writes a clean, private summary right here. And that's it. You are up and running. You now have a fully private search engine running entirely on your own hardware. Go ahead and experiment with the settings. Try swapping now different models in the Ollama to see what runs better on your specific PC. Now, a quick tip for after you reboot. If you find that Perplexica doesn't load immediately, you might just need to kickstart the service. You can run these 3 commands to get everything moving again. I've put all the commands from today's video in the description below in order, so you can easily copy and paste them as you go. If you got stuck on any step, leave a comment below and I will try to help you out. I hope this video was useful. Thanks for watching.